What's up guys? We're back with another video. If you are new here, my name is Sammy and we're the Mermaid Gang. This is where you can come and suspend your disbelief. I am your favorite manifestation coach and your favorite YouTuber. So if you would like for me to help you dissolve whatever is between you and your manifestation, go ahead and sign up for coaching with me right here. Okay, let's get into the video. First of all, I thought that it was time for us to talk about manifestation because, like, what it is, how it works, and why I think so many people are dumb who are trying to teach it. Because they don't understand most of the time that it's not a toy, okay? So many people see manifestation as like a toy you can play with, like, oh, we can manifest these cool things. Yeah, you can. But you're literally always manifesting. Manifestation is your thoughts creating your reality. Your inner experiences creating outer experiences. Scientifically speaking, it's quantum physics. Spiritual speaking, it's the law of assumption, whatever you assume. Although I have some thoughts on that. This might be some piping hot tea, but I kind of feel, just based on experience, that the assumption is what holds us in the state or holds our thing in place, but thoughts are what actually create the experience first. That's just my opinion. I probably won't go too deep into that, but you know, ponder that. So, manifestation is your thoughts creating your reality. Whatever you think about all the time, whatever you give your attention to, whatever you put your awareness on, is the experience you are selecting. You are doing it all the time. There is not a time when you are not selecting your experience, but the reason that you live the same day-to-day life most of the time is because you are selecting the same thoughts every day. You're essentially selecting about the same, most of the same thoughts every single day by habit. Now, we are programmed from the second we are born, we are programmed with basic things, but technically there is no default reality. So you could say, fuck this. This is not what I am choosing to experience, you know, whatever things you've been conditioned to believe. And you can opt out of experiencing that and create your own world. You're always manifesting. You're always creating and selecting your experiences. So people think of manifestation as some like woo-woo, genie in a bottle type shit. But it's not that. It's the fact that you are always selecting your experiences, your reality. You're creating your reality. It's so much more than what people are teaching, especially like law of attraction teachers. They teach it so like, well, what information they do give, they teach it so like, may or may not get it, and the universe is in charge and all this shit, but that's just not true. It's just not true. And there's no power outside of you like deciding what you experience. You are always, always, always deciding what you experience, no matter what it is, good or bad, whether you enjoy it or not. You're selecting it with your thoughts. Your consistent thoughts is what is selecting your reality. So the way that you learn to control your reality, which is all you're doing, you're not learning to manifest. You are always manifesting. You've always been manifesting. You can't turn it off. There's never been a time where you weren't or could not manifest. You are always manifesting. It is your nature. It's not a gift. It is your nature. It is the way it works, nonstop, all the time. You're learning to control what you manifest, what you experience. So the way that I prefer to control my experience is with affirmations. I like to repeat affirmations because it's been proven that repetition is what creates your beliefs, but in my experience, it creates your reality. Repetition of thoughts creates your reality. Now, obviously, there are other ways to have an inner experience. You can script, you can visualize, you can do like the telephone method where you just hear conversations, like inner conversations. I don't actually put inner conversations and affirming in the same category because I feel like they're two different things. So affirming is the repetition of a sentence or a word. It's a sentence for me. I know people are doing like one word affirming, but that's just not for me, so that's why I haven't made a video on it. Why? I don't do it. But inner conversations are more so like you knowing you're talking to another person and you repeating the same loop over and over of the conversation that you're having with them. So whether it's you hearing them say something only, or you're hearing yourself and them have a conversation over and over and over. I prefer just simple, straight to the point affirmations. I truly believe from experience that you affirming, you selecting your experience over and over again, however you do it. In my case, affirming, like I said, repeating the thought over and over again, the affirmation over and over again, is what brings it into your world, because whatever you're putting your attention on is what you are selecting. Whatever you're putting your focus and awareness on, whatever you focus on grows. Whatever you're putting your awareness on, your focus on, you're giving your attention to is the experience you are selecting. And I truly believe that we select it enough mentally, and then we experience it, and then it becomes an assumption. I believe that assumption comes from experiencing it. And then once it is an assumption, that is when it becomes stationary. You can stay in that state, or it's easier to duplicate if you need to duplicate it. So like maybe you manifested something, but like it stopped or it changed or it went away again, or I feel like the more you do it, the easier it is, because you have that experience of, I've already done this. The same way you pick up a negative pattern, like, oh, this has always been shitty for me, so I expect it to be shitty again, and you keep recreating the same negative pattern like we talked about in the last video. But you can do that with positive things too, and I think that every time you experience something positive, just like if it was negative, that you expect it more. It's easier and easier to, you have less and less resistance every time. So it's easier to duplicate, and then it will become an assumption, and it can become your dominant state, and you will not even have to affirm for it at all. That's the kind of things that I think we don't have to affirm for. So like the things we already expect day to day are the things we don't need to affirm for. So when we want to select a new experience, we affirm or visualize or script or whatever you want to do, whatever method you choose, over and over until you experience it. And then you keep doing it until it becomes an expectation in your reality, essentially. That's how we get to a point where we don't have to affirm or manifest it. It becomes just a part of our daily life and expectation and assumption. I don't think this video needs to be super long and drawn out. Like, that's just what it is. That's manifestation. You can't turn it off. You're never not manifesting. You're always selecting something with your thoughts. So learning to control your reality is you learning to only select the experiences that you want to have, and to deny, be delulu, to the things that you don't want anymore. That's all you have to do. It's not some long drawn out process. There is no divine timing. There is no magic number. There's no universe deciding if you're worthy. There's no, I mean, there's a universe, but it's not deciding if you're worthy. You're the universe that is controlling everything. You are what is controlling everything. You are a part of the universe. You are the one deciding if you're worthy. You're deciding the timing of when you get what you want. It's literally all in your hands. Your entire experience, when, how, and if is all in your control. It's all based on what you're thinking all the time. So if you're thinking like, oh, I have to affirm for like 6 weeks for this, then yeah, it's going to take 6 weeks. But if you tell yourself, no, I get everything I want as soon as I want it, or I get everything I want in 3 days or 5 days, or only have to affirm for a day, then that's going to be your experience. So the only divine thing about timing is every person has the ability to choose their own timing. And every person's timing is different based on the amount of resistance they have in the story they're telling themselves about their ability to manifest. I will say that if you want to be good at manifesting, just tell yourself you're good at manifesting. You can manifest being good at manifesting. Like, everything is under your control. Every single thing is under your control. It's all about what you're telling yourself, what you're thinking all day long. That's it. Every person, every experience, yourself, everything is under your control. You're selecting your experiences. There are infinite possibilities for what you can experience. You know what infinite means? You can't count them. Infinite means if you can think of it, you can have it. Okay? If you can think of it, I mentioned this in another video. Steve Harvey even said this. You can't think about anything that's impossible. If it's impossible, you couldn't think of it. So if you can think of it, that means it is possible for you to experience. Okay? That's it. Manifestation is simply you learning to control your reality, control your experiences. You're learning how to select your desired experiences rather than living the experiences that other people have programmed you to experience. That's it. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we out.